Hey everyone, how are you doing today? It's Marla. We are having one of our typical Florida afternoon crazy electrical thunderstorms here, so I'm hoping my power doesn't go out as I'm about to film this particular video. And one other thing I did want to mention before I actually start getting into this video is I have a couple other perceptions videos I'm editing in my YouTube kind of stash. But I want to apologize in advance because some of them are nice and short and like 4 minutes long, and other ones I kind of started rambling on and they're a little bit longer than I would have preferred them to be. So you're going to have to excuse some of the length of my perception videos on my reviews. I try to get really in depth on some of the reviews, but sometimes I need to just kind of cut it short. But I apologize in advance. So let's get started with this particular video and how I stay slim over 50. The reason I decided to do this video is because I read a lot online, a lot of blogs, I read newspapers, magazines, on TV, and every time I read something about women talking about packing the pounds on once they hit menopause and there's no way to stop it, and you just keep gaining weight and you keep putting pounds on, it's so difficult to lose weight, I really don't think that always is the case. I actually right now am 10 pounds lighter than I was when I was in my 20s and 30s. So it is possible to be slim in your 50s and older. So I just wanted to kind of come out with my way or how I stay slim over 50. Now, obviously, this is not a kind of you follow this and you will not gain weight video. This is basically just how I do it. And I love YouTube because YouTube, there's so much information on YouTube. You can kind of look at one person's video here and another person's video there, and maybe take bits and pieces of what this person does and mix it with bits and pieces of how this person keeps their weight under control, put it all together and have a great plan for yourself. That's kind of what I love about YouTube. There's just such a wealth of information out there. But this is the way that I keep my weight under control. I do not diet. Diet is not even in my vocabulary, nor do I buy any product that has diet written on it. So if you're looking for a diet type thing, this is not the video for you. But let me get started with how I do it. First of all, let me kind of go over the thing that I think I call the 3 strikes against me. Rules are 3 strikes that normally most people would think would make someone gain weight and not be able to keep their weight low. I have them. Strike number 1, I am 53 years old. So I fall into that over 50 menopausal category of women that have a hard time keeping their weight under control over 50. Number 2, I am hypothyroid. And if you are familiar with what hypothyroidism is, it's basically an autoimmune disease where your body decides that your thyroid is kind of an invader and they don't want it there anymore and they decide to attack it and kill it. Well, my body has pretty much killed my thyroid. It's pretty much non-functional at this point, and I have to take medications, Synthroid in particular, to keep my levels normal. So I am hypothyroid, but with hypothyroidism comes usually a lot of weight gain. And my recommendation for anyone who is tested and turns out to be hypothyroid is to get your thyroid under control. And I have a lot of physician friends. I also have a lot of friends that are both MD doctors with a combination of naturopathic doctor with it. And most of them agree, the good ones, that treating hypothyroidism with supplements is probably not the way to go. It's very difficult to keep it under control. I spoke with my one friend who basically said the people that decide to treat their hypothyroidism with supplements usually come back to me in a year and they are now 50 pounds heavier. So if you want to keep your weight under control, I recommend that you visit your doctor, your endocrinologist, your MD, and take the appropriate medication to do that. Also, if you are hypothyroid, it's very hereditary. As you may know, my mom had it, my grandmother had it, and unfortunately, one of my sons, a 20-year-old son, also has it. So if you have children and you're hypothyroid, it's probably a good idea to get them screened. Boys usually have a less occurrence than girls of inheriting it. However, my son did inherit it, so it's always a good idea to have them screened. Okay, and thirdly, the third strike I have against me is that I have fibromyalgia, which means I cannot go out and run a marathon. I can't really lift weights sometimes. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and the only thing that doesn't hurt on me is the hair on my head. Everything else hurts. So for me to go out and do strenuous exercise where I get my heart rate up and kind of get the sweat going, I can't do that. I also take Lyrica for my fibromyalgia. So if you look at Lyrica, one of the side effects, very common, is weight gain. Have I had that? No. So I do have what most people would say would be 3 strikes against me, and am still able to keep my weight totally under control. Now, for the how do I do my routine aspect of this video, first let me start with exercise. I belong to no gyms. I have found that for a gym, for some reason, I'm just not very motivated to go to the gym. For one thing, I have fibromyalgia, so I can't use half the stuff that's at the gym. So it's kind of a waste of time for me to get up in the morning, get dressed, and half the time you want to have to kind of have half-decent gym clothes to go to the gym. Sometimes you still kind of want to put a little bit of makeup on to go to the gym. Too much trouble. I prefer to get up 5 o'clock in the morning, have a cup of coffee, and I do put cream and sugar in my coffee because I deprive myself of nothing when it comes to coffee. I will have my cream and sugar, drink my coffee down, and then probably around 6:10 in the morning, I go for a 2-mile walk. And I love walking through my neighborhood because once I go 1 mile in one direction, in order to get back home, I have to walk another mile, so I can walk 2 miles. If I'm walking on a treadmill, I can walk a mile, and if I get bored, just push the button, shut it off, and I'm done. When you're walking outside, you end up somewhere and you got to turn around to walk back. So you're kind of forced to complete the length of the walk that you wanted to do initially. And I love walking because it gets me out in the air. I look at the flowers. I maybe say hi to a neighbor once in a while that's walking by. It's just really kind of an enjoyable exercise that you can do for almost the rest of your life. My 93-year-old father-in-law still walks every day. Once you get to be 50 and sometimes older than 50, you have sometimes problems that you never had when you were younger, like osteoarthritis and things like that, things that hurt. Walking is really a great exercise. It's just not really jarring on your joints. Even people with rheumatoid arthritis, they recommend to get out and walk. People with arthritis, they recommend to get out and walk. So it's a great exercise that you can take with you all the way into your 70s and 80s, and like I said, even 90s if you can do it. So walking for me is great. I don't get my heart rate up. I just take a nice leisurely 2-mile walk every morning, and that's what works for me. For upper body exercises, again, I can't lift heavy weights. Maybe you can, and all the power to you. For me, the only thing I use is my little spin gym, which I absolutely love this little gadget. If you're not familiar with what a spin gym is, I will post my video on it right here, and you can just click that link later. But this is all I do for my upper body to get, a little bit of tone. Not a lot, because this doesn't do, a heck of a lot, but it does give me a little bit of tone in my arms. That is basically all I do for my exercise. I make sure I pick a time of day that I enjoy exercising. For me, it's first thing in the morning, because I know if I get it done first thing in the morning, I'm done with it. There's nothing that can come along during the day that can kind of prevent me from getting my exercise done. Because you know how some things turn up during the day and all of a sudden like, oh, now I can't get my exercise in. Get it done first thing in the morning. Okay, now for food intake and kind of what I eat and things like that. Let me first start with in my house. I had to have notes because I'm trying to get through this without kind of rambling on too much. But these are the never in my house foods. These are foods that I really don't ever buy. I never bring them into my house, so they're not there. Number 1, soda. I don't drink soda. I don't bring soda in my house. Soda to me is just pure chemicals in a bottle. I don't drink diet soda because to me that's even worse than drinking regular soda. So soda, not in the house. Number 2, chips, crackers, crap like that. None of that stuff is in my house. Chocolate is a big weakness for me. Therefore, I don't keep it in the house. I don't even keep the little chocolate squares in the house because once I have one, then I end up having 2, then sometimes I'll put 3 together. No chocolate in the house, no ice cream, no pies, no cakes, blah, 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 blah. None of that stuff is kept in my house. The only thing that's kept in my house is like orange juice, almond milk, any meats that I'm going to use to eat, any veggies, any fruits, stuff like that. Cooking, things to cook with, spices, stuff like that. That's what I keep in my house, but I don't keep any of those things that I listed in the house. In order to get ice cream or pie or cookies or a dessert like that, I would physically have to get in my car and drive somewhere to get it. So that kind of prevents me from kind of just sitting around and eating that stuff during the day. After I come back from my walk, I've already had my coffee, I've already went for my walk, and then I have my breakfast. What I have for breakfast, usually 5 or 6 times a day. Sometimes I go out for breakfast and I'll have like eggs and bacon and potatoes and stuff like that. But normally during the day, I will have 1 piece of wheat toast with the magic. Do I hear angels singing right now? Yes. Yeah, I think I hear angels singing. Magic of peanut butter. Don't be afraid of peanut butter. I know many of you are screaming, running in the other direction saying, peanut butter? That is the fattiest food you could possibly be eating. Honestly, I think peanut butter is really, for me, a magic food. And I think a lot of people are afraid of it that should not be afraid of it. I really think it's great. It has a lot of protein in it. And for me, it totally kills my appetite. So what I have in the morning is 1 piece of toast with probably, I don't measure things out, it's probably about a giant heaping tablespoon of crunchy and not low fat, just the crunchy plain peanut butter on top of the bread. I eat that probably around 7 o'clock in the morning and it kills my appetite for probably 2 to 3 hours. I eat almost every 3 hours, but that's the one thing I do have every morning. I love peanut butter and I think it's just a great food. I think it's just fabulous. It kills my appetite better than any other thing I've ever eaten. Then let's say it is now mid-morning. Okay, I've had my peanut butter on my slice of bread and maybe now it's 10 or 10:30 and I start getting another craving because I like to eat a couple times a day. If I'm out or if I'm home, I always have one thing that I always use as a snack. Now I did mention that I don't drink soda, I don't eat chips, I don't eat French fries, I don't eat fried food, I don't eat any fast food. The only thing that I will purchase at a fast food restaurant is either coffee, like McDonald's, or usually for my mid-morning snack, I will have McDonald's oatmeal. Now, I hear the screams of terror of that McDonald's oatmeal is not good for you. It's really not good oatmeal. It has a lot of sugar in it. Yes, I know. But the likelihood of me making oatmeal at home, chopping up those apples, putting in those cranberries and the raisins that McDonald's does for me and making it exactly pretty much the calories that they say it is not going to happen. So for my mid-morning snack, I drive through McDonald's or I keep one at home and I eat one of the McDonald's oatmeals. I think it's like 290 calories. It does have a lot of sugar in it. Some of it is from the fruit. I'm sure some of it is from brown sugar that they mix in there. But it has such good stuff in it. It has apples, raisins, and oatmeal that for me, it counteracts any of the bad sugars. That's what I have for my mid-morning snack. For lunch, probably just a sandwich. I either go to Subway and get a turkey 6-inch sub with all the veggies on it, and then I just put a little oil and vinegar on it. Never order chips, never order cookies. Once in a while I get sucked into some sweet tea, but usually I'm pretty good about that. But I usually am a sandwich person for lunch. I stay away from salad bars. I think salad bars can be evil. I think you can start out with good intentions at a salad bar, but by the time you are done, you have piled on so much stuff on that salad, you might as well just eat a giant steak. So I stay away from salad bars completely. Just have a sandwich for lunch, and that's about it. And then probably around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I have my little tea time, and that's kind of when I have my little mini indulgence. I have finally found a tea that I really like, and I like jasmine tea, and this is not really like a super high class tea. This is just one I got from my local, I'm blanking on that, my local grocery store. Okay, my local grocery store. I really like this decaffeinated lemon jasmine. That's what I'm drinking right now. I finally found a tea I can drink. I don't put anything else in it because I like tea just plain with no sugar, with no cream. And my other little indulgence in the afternoon is the only thing I do keep in my house as kind of a sweet treat are my little Teddy Grahams. So I have a little bag of Teddy Grahams in the afternoon around 3 o'clock with my tea, and that is my afternoon kind of tea time. Works perfectly for me, and that's that. And then for dinner, I just eat a regular dinner with my family. I never serve bread with dinner, and sometimes I serve a salad, sometimes I don't. But I just have a regular dinner, and I usually try to not eat after 6 o'clock in the evening. Now, if I eat dinner and I'm still kind of hungry around like 8 or 9, or I just kind of feel like I want something sweet, what I keep in the house are my little mint lifesavers, and I may just have one of these, just pop it in my mouth around 8 o'clock at night or 9 o'clock if I'm getting a little bit of a craving. It's only 15 calories for one of these, and that kind of kills that little sweet craving I may be having. Or if I'm really a little bit hungrier, I may have an apple or drink a half a glass of orange juice. And that's really, I kind of try not to eat anything after 6 o'clock in the evening now. And that's kind of my day. That's what I eat almost, every day. I eat that way. And I, again, like I said, have been able to keep my weight really fairly low, over 50. When it comes to eating out at a restaurant, I do have a couple things that I do that I kind of think are not really tips, a couple things I do at restaurants. They're not really tricks, they're kind of more of tips. When I'm out at a restaurant and they serve bread, which a lot of restaurants do, I don't sit there and watch everybody eat bread with butter on it while I'm not eating bread with butter on it. I'm not going to do that, because that means I'm depriving myself of something and it makes me feel not good about it. So what I normally do is when I'm out, I will have one piece of bread and I will have butter on that bread and enjoy it. Normally I order a salad, a house salad with my dinner, and I always try to make sure there's no cheese or bacon on it, and I usually either take off the croutons or ask for no croutons. I never ask for diet salad dressing. I always get regular salad dressing. I just do. I want to enjoy my salad. And then with dinner, because I did have that one piece of bread with everyone initially, when I order my main course and I order possibly a side with it or a side that comes with it, I always order a vegetable. That way I don't have added carbs. So I am able to kind of enjoy the bread initially at the dinner if I then have maybe a veggie with the actual entree. When I'm eating dinner and they bring me the entree, I normally kind of in my mind mentally cut the entree in half, push half of it to one side of the plate, and I only eat, because you know how big, they give you such huge platters anymore of food. To eat that whole platter is just kind of disgusting to me. So I kind of divide it in half. I eat half of my dinner, and then the other half I have them box up and take home, and usually my son at home eats it late at night or something, or I may have it the next day for lunch. So mentally, again, that's another kind of tip I do when I'm eating dinner. And finally, if I am home or out and I have this terrible craving for a sweet treat, some of the things that I have eaten that kind of has satisfied that are, I will have a kiddie ice cream cone. So instead of having like 1 scoop or 2 scoops of ice cream, I will go and ask for a kid-sized kiddie cone. That way I can kind of enjoy the sweetness of the ice cream, but not have a huge quantity to eat. Another thing I do, if I really want kind of a piece of pie or a piece of cake, I never go out and buy a whole pie or a whole cake and bring it home. My local grocery store actually sells slices, like 1 slice of pie and 1 slice of cake. And I know it's more expensive that way to purchase it, but I don't eat it that often. So what I will do is I will buy the 1 piece of pie, the 1 slice, or the 1 slice of cake, bring it home, divide it into 3, and the 3 of us in the family will get to eat probably like 4 or 5 bites of it, but it's super rich usually. Usually I get like the red velvet with the chocolate frosting on or the white cream frosting on, and that's really kind of all I need for a kind of a sweet treat. I think that's it. That is kind of how I do my weight program. I really don't even want to call it a diet program because I never really feel like I'm dieting. I feel like I'm really actually enjoying everything I eat. I never order anything that's diet. I never buy anything that has diet written on it. And again, I am able to eat like that. I've been eating like that for the past couple of years, and my weight has really been constant, consistent. I don't have the ability to do strenuous exercise, so I can't really do that to kind of offset any weight. But even though I'm not able to do that, I've still been able to keep my weight under control. Those are some of my tips for keeping my weight under control over 50. And if you guys have anything else or any magic food that you really love that you think really is very helpful to you also for keeping your weight under control, if you could post it down below in the comment section, that way everybody who looks at this video can get information from, like I said, bits of information here, bits of information there, put it all together and maybe put an exercise eating program together for them also that will work. Hope you guys are having a great day. It looks like the thunderstorm has already gone past. I don't hear thundering anymore outside. I think I lucked out and it's good. I'm not going to have my power go out. Take care, guys. I will see you soon. Bye-bye from Marla.